Hello everybody, so Miss Kier and I am back with another episode. Today, I am going to be talking about the top 10 characters that should, top 10 villains in the DC universe that should come to the DC Extended Universe. I am not going to be talking about villains that were already introduced to the DC Extended Universe, such as Doomsday, Zod, and Ares, Joker, Suicide Squad people. And yeah, so I will also not be including a Darkseid because he is pretty much confirmed to the Justice League movie. But besides them, anyone else I'm going to be including in this list. So let's get started. At number 10, I have Atrocitus. So I think this character would be really cool to have in the next Green Lantern movie. I'm pretty sure the next Green Lantern movie is called Green Lantern Corps, which is coming out in 2020, I believe. So I hope that he is the villain in this instead of Sinestro, because Sinestro and Green Lantern are kind of like Batman and Joker. Don't get me wrong, I love Joker as a character and when he fights Batman. But it's just the same old routine again of how Batman stops the Joker and so on and so on. So I'd like to see Atrocitus on the screen since we kind of have already seen Sinestro on the screen. Going on to number 9, we have Ra's al Ghul. Now I think this would be a really cool person to have, considering that Ra's al Ghul trained Batman and he pretty knows what Batman's thinking in his mind. And Batman Begins was one of my favorite movies of DC and in the whole entire superhero movie business at all. And I think this would be really cool to have as a person Batman would fight in a movie. At number 8, we have Vandal Savage. Now, I think this character could fight in not this Justice League movie, since I'm pretty sure Darkseid's going to be the main villain, but maybe Justice League 2. I think it'd be really cool to see how the Justice League would take down Vandal Savage, because it's extremely hard to kill him. So I think this character would be a really cool person to have in the DC Extended Universe. At number 7, we have Gorilla Grodd. I think he could play as the main Flash villain in maybe the first, second, or third Flash movie, because I don't know how much Flash movies there will be until the next Rebirth in DC movies. So I would at least like to have him as maybe a small villain, like how in Christopher Nolan's Batman series there were at least 2 villains per movie, such as in The Dark Knight, it was Two-Face and Joker, and Two-Face wasn't really the main villain. I'd like to see that happen with Gorilla Grodd, not as the main villain, but maybe as the side villain. At 6, we have Hush. Now, I don't really know much about the character, but from what I understand, he thinks and knows Batman very well, and I'd like to see this him face Ben Affleck's Batman. I think this would be a really cool fit, and it's like he knows everything Batman's planning to do next. I think that'd be a really cool and a character to have. At number 5, we have Amazo. Now, this could go for a Batman or maybe Wonder Woman villain, because he can take any of the powers from the DC, or maybe even a Justice League movie character. I think this would be a really cool thing to have, a really cool character to have in the DC Extended Universe. Maybe have the whole entire Justice League face him. At number 4, we have Scarecrow. Now, I personally really like this character because there's not really any character superhero people or supervillains that will actually scare you, and I really like that kind of thought that a villain can actually scare you, and I would like to see that happen in one of the next Batman movies, as him being maybe a main villain or even a side villain. I think he'd be really cool to have in the DC Extended Universe. At number 3, I have Captain Cold. Now, Captain Cold would be an amazing character to have as in the next Flash movie, or Flash in the second Flash movie. I'd really like to see him as a main villain, not as a side villain, because he is an amazing character that is extremely smart and can slow the Flash down with his cold gun. Now, yes, he is like Mr. Freeze, but Mr. Freeze doesn't fight the Flash, because I think the Flash would easily take down Mr. Freeze, because Captain Cold is so much smarter than Mr. Freeze. And number 2, I have Reverse Flash. Now, I'd really like to see a Speedster versus a Speedster in the DC Extended Universe. And this character is a really cool character, and he is extremely brilliant, not just like in facing superheroes, but because he is from the 22nd century, I believe, and he is extremely brilliant. He knows so much from the future, so it's kind of like he's facing characters that just graduated from kindergarten. At number 1, I have Deathstroke. And I know this is probably going to be the next villain in the next Ben Affleck's Batman movie, because Ben Affleck already teased him and it was confirmed that he was going to be the main villain. But since Ben Affleck isn't directing it anymore, we don't really know who's going to be the main villain. I really hope they still stick with Deathstroke as the main villain. I think he'd be a really amazing fit. He's even gone like in a battle against Superman and almost beated Superman. Now, this character isn't like the Joker who just kind of like teases Batman. He actually doesn't mind to fight the character fist to fist or have a weapon to fight Batman with. So, yeah, that is my pick for the top 10 DC villains that I would like to see in the DC Extended Universe. If I forgot to mention any of your favorites, put them in the comments below, because I'd really like to see who you would like to see in the DC Extended Universe. And that's the end of this, guys. If you like this episode, leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. See you later, guys.